it is time to set up our January budget. I have my January budget stickers. This is what I chose. There's January budget. There's the debt snowball page, sinking funds, my weekly checkup, the transaction log, the variable income. Here is washi strip A, washi strip B, washi C, and washi D. As soon as I saw this pattern, I knew that I had to use it in some form, and I decided on January. So we have a couple of unique things about January. It happens to be a 3-paycheck month for Jason, and we run our budget off of 2 paychecks a month. And so whenever there's a 3-paycheck month, that is just an extra paycheck, and we generally we have something that we're saving it for or something like that, but we are actually taking the kids to Tennessee for spring break, and it's going to be quite an expensive trip because we're going to be gone for a long time and hotel bills and all of that. And so that 3rd paycheck is going to go straight into the spring break fund. It's probably more than we need actually, but we're going to put all of it in there. And if there's any left over, then it will go towards our screened-in porch that we're saving for. It is time to start thinking about springtime expenditures for outside, like my garden stuff and everything. And I think I would like to start a little cash envelope for the outside stuff. So I'm gonna think about that in January. And then I'm gonna try to send out New Year's cards. I never get Christmas cards done, but we did have family photos taken. So I would really like to send out a New Year's card. So I gotta think about the money for that. So I have already put in some of the stickers here. I decided just to put the stuff in that comes out automatically, and just so I was putting the stuff that I had to go in and pay, but I always go in and pay that and I check it on every dollar. But I do need to go back and check and make sure the stuff that comes out automatically is going out, and so that's what I did. We have a new expenditure this month. We joined the Y, which we're all really excited about. So for our family, it's $107 a month. So let's get started. We are going to start right away with our January budget. Now you would think for as long as I've been doing this that I would like remember what order stuff goes in, but I always have to go back to the previous month and look and make sure, because I'm never quite like certain the order, even though I follow the same order every single month, but you know. So this is where we will put the income. And then I like to leave, basically I only track Jason's income. So I like to leave a couple spaces, and we did have, like Jason has a wedding that he's doing. He got like a little bonusy thing last month. So I do I need a couple of spaces for that because it's not just his salary. Most months it is, but sometimes there's a couple of extra things. Okay, so here is where we can start putting in all of our expenses. All right, save that for now. And here we go. Our first expenditure is our tithe. And I always have to do the math because I have it broken out by paycheck. Oh, you know what? Let's do our lines first so I actually can see what the heck is going on here. Okay. Here we go. Well, I guess I could have just... It's basically the same line, but whatever. There. Now I can make sure. All right, we always plan for 518. Next comes our investment. $150. We have our auto transfer. Right now we are using this for car savings, so that goes directly into our... We have vowed to never take out another car loan, so we are paying cash for our cars from now on. So that goes straight to our car savings. We have our mortgage, which we escrow, so this is everything, for $1,667.10, and we are on a 20-year mortgage. We have our phones. This is probably going to be a little bit different. I think there was like an extra charge or something last month, and I don't have the new amount yet, but we shall see. Spectrum is our cable and our internet, which is $134.37. And I forgot, I like to put what paycheck this is coming out of, so the investment comes out of the second paycheck. Auto transfer happens on the 15th and the 30th. Our mortgage is out of our first paycheck. The phones are on the first paycheck, and this is just based on when it's due, what paycheck it comes out of. With our sinking funds in there, I never really have to worry about there being enough money for the bills to come out, because that's one nice thing about sinking funds. Then you always have a big cushion in your checkbook. So I don't really have to worry about that, but it's nice to know when this stuff is coming out. I try to do it like equally, half and half, so that there's always money in the checkbook for the bills. So consumers, this amount will change because I don't have, actually, let me go look and see if I have that exact amount. All right, that new amount is not up yet, so I will just put in last month's amount, and then this will for sure change. DTE is our natural gas. Oh yeah, consumers comes out the first. DTE comes out the second. And then DTE will change as well, so we will go ahead and put last month's amount. These are roughly, like these two added together are always kind of roughly the same amount, except for in the summer when we have our sprinklers going and our air conditioning, the electricity is quite a bit higher, and then, but these two always kind of, there's an average that it kind of stays around, so I'm not expecting any like huge surprises there or anything. Okay, next we have our food. Now, I definitely went over budget in December, even though I budgeted more for food, knowing it was the holidays and stuff, but I for sure went over. So I am definitely trying to do a leaner month. So I'm only giving myself $500, and we do have quite a bit of food in the house. So I think that is, if I plan some pretty simple meals with not a lot of ingredients, I think we will be totally fine with $500. We have a miscellaneous category, and this is always kind of a weird amount because it's basically whatever is left. And I use this for just what it says, miscellaneous crap. It's just whatever, any other category something doesn't fit in, that's kind of where that fits in. Piano lessons, there are, Jericho's lessons are on Fridays. So there are 5 Fridays in January, so that's going to be more than usual, which normally it's 60, and so it's 75 because it's $15 a lesson. And then I'm going to use one of these little cash because I need to remember to take that out in cash. And that just helps me remember to do that. We have Netflix, which we did actually get the kids Disney Plus for Christmas. But since it was a Christmas present, it came out of Christmas money, and we just went ahead and paid for the whole year. So I will have to remember, like next January, if we keep it or whatever, that will have to be part of the regular budget. But for now, it was a Christmas present, and so it's just paid up for the year. Then we have our Compassion Kid that we sponsor. Netflix comes out the 2nd. And then Compassion comes out the 2nd as well. So Netflix is $15.99. Compassion is $38. And then I have my little subscription down here, which that comes out the 2nd. Which that is $9.99, which I've explained before that technically this is an Etsy expense. But the way that I set it up, the subscription, I can't change what bank account it comes out of, so I tried. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so all the rest of our things are actually sinking funds. And so then I do put in a place here that once I get my sinking funds done, then I put that total right here, and then my budget will balance at the end. So now all I have to do is put in my totals. I do like to leave myself a couple of lines in case I want to add something. That generally doesn't happen though, because I have that miscellaneous category. So that doesn't generally happen. So there is January. Now I am going to set up my weekly check-in page. I like to do that because I do use this. I use this for our other bank account. So the transaction log I will use, and this is how I keep track of it and what the totals are from the transaction log and what funds. Basically, I'm checking up on sinking funds is what I'm doing in this weekly checkup page. So it's very helpful. I finally have a system that works that I can keep track of. Because when you have some long-term savings goals, you start having like a lot of money, like one big pool of money, and then it really does become necessary to keep really good track of it so that you don't, you don't spend what you have set aside for like a big savings goal. Because, we have, like, at this point, we have thousands of dollars for a car, and that would be really bad if we spent that and didn't have anything, ready once it's time to buy a car. That would be terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I put week 1 up there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I'm gonna draw my line first. This is just really helpful in staying organized. That's gonna annoy me, but whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which I've always wondered how often people check in on their money. Like, is it once a month? Is it only when you pay bills? Like, how often is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've always wondered that, and it's probably different for every person, but to me, I feel like money's like a living, breathing thing. If I don't check in on it, I have no idea where we're at, type of thing. And I feel like that's where people get into trouble. Like, if you don't know what's happening with your money, like on a weekly basis, then I guess I don't even really understand how you know what you have to spend and everything, unless you're strictly on a cash budget. I guess that would make sense. Okay, so we have that set up. This is where my sinking funds will go, which that is a separate video. So then all I have left to do is put in my variable income page, which goes right here. And then in order to make sure that I have enough room, oops. That's why I like that these are removable. So if you make a mistake, you can fix it. You don't get too many fixes though, and then they won't stick anymore. Okay, so I track about 3 different things of income. I track Etsy, I track Plexus, and I do occasionally, I haven't done Shipped in a long time. I just, the timing of it hasn't worked out for me very well lately. So those are the 3 that I track the most. Then I guess I give myself, whoops, see, it's a good thing it's erasable, because I totally forgot to put this in. Oh, I better fix that. You can barely read, which sometimes, see, it's a good thing I use these stickers myself, because you cannot read that at all. So I'm gonna have to go through and change those, which is an easy fix, but good thing that I saw that. And that just happens when you're designing sometimes, because on the computer it can just look so very different than when it's printed out sometimes, so it definitely happens. Okay, so that is that. Then I have started taking my transaction log and putting it right underneath because I definitely need the space. Because if I were to just start it over here, I run out every time. So this actually works out really well for me to do it this way. Okay. Here is the date. So I use this with my weekly checkup page, and I will write in all of those, and then I keep track in my weekly checkup of the different categories. So let's draw the lines. There we go. So what I will do is I kind of actually use this like a check register. I'll put the date, I will put what the, like where it's from, what store or whatever, the amount, and then the notes are where it comes from, like which fund. So if I've done something with Etsy, then I'll just put Etsy right there. And I will, in my weekly checkup, I will go through and add up all of my stuff and get a total for my weekly checkup. So then the next page, I do, which washi do I want to use here? I think I want to use this one since I don't have this one on this page yet. So then I just do this, and I don't have another strip like this, so I will just make the lines match. So I will just kind of try to do the same sized lines. So like that's the date. And then I need about that amount for the category. And then just about like that. I don't know if you guys can hear that plane or not, but we live right near a small airport, and so we hear planes all day long. We also live by railroad tracks, and so we hear the train very often, and I love both of those things. I love those noises. They don't bother me at all. So that is that. This is January's budget. I will set up the sinking funds in a separate budget, but I hope you enjoyed seeing how we run our budget. We really like this method. Jason and I sit down and talk about it often. Of course, he doesn't care anything about the stickers or this binder or anything, but he loves how we keep track of it, and he likes to see how our savings are growing and then all the bills get paid and all that stuff. And I will have to say he is really compliant with the budget, actually more so than I am probably, if I'm being honest. He just does a really good job of A, he hardly ever spends money, and B, if I say, hey, we're getting close in this category, you know, don't spend any more with this card or this bank account or whatever, he's like, okay. So he's really easy to work with, which helps us be really successful together. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.